Yoga in Classrooms and Schools Consulting. Let's put our hands together for Emily Fleming.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Emily Fleming, and I am the founder of Yoga in Classrooms and Schools Consulting. At 22, as a Teach for America Corps member, I moved to Chicago straight out of college with no prior teaching experience, and I was teaching special education on the West Side. As a new teacher and as a teacher of many students with emotional disabilities, I spent that year trying to build relationships with students, find my voice, and manage challenging behaviors, all while trying to bring our most struggling learners up to grade level. I relied heavily on my own yoga practice to get me through that year, and I brought yoga into my classroom as a way for all of us to relieve stress, calm down, and self-regulate throughout the day. It was there that I saw a need and my vision solidified, of bringing yoga to all kids in all schools as a means of helping our youth navigate the transition to adulthood, a transition that for many youth in our country is often a hard one. We know that youth nationally are experiencing a mental health crisis, and the pandemic has only exacerbated this problem. Since the pandemic, we've seen an increase in the number of kids going to hospitals for mental health challenges, and many youth report that the pandemic has made their mental health worse. Looking at Baltimore, mental health ranked second as a priority among most stakeholder groups in a 2020 survey on student wholeness sponsored by Baltimore City Public Schools. In schools in Baltimore and beyond are turning to yoga and mindfulness as a means to address students' social emotional needs. This often looks like outside providers coming into schools to provide short-term and ad hoc programming, or it looks like teachers implementing a plug-and-play curriculum in their classroom that doesn't take into account student or school-based needs. So I eventually left Chicago and I moved to Baltimore to pursue my dream of teaching yoga to kids and schools. I've spent the last 7 years teaching yoga as a daily class at a middle school here in Baltimore. And when I first moved here, I was looking for a plug-and-play model to use in my classroom, but I couldn't find one that was a good fit for my urban middle school youth. So I actually created a curriculum of my own focused on empathy, social awareness, and self-management. And it was this experience that led me to found Yoga in Classrooms and Schools Consulting. At Yoga in Classrooms and Schools Consulting, we work with schools and districts to create tailor-made, long-term yoga and mindfulness programming for students, staff, and families. We do this through a model of long-term coaching and support, cross-curricular integration, and the creation of culturally relevant programming that is aligned to the needs, values, and goals of the school community. Our goal is to work with schools to create school-specific programming that aligns across grade levels, content areas, and divisions, and to provide long-term coaching and support for school staff. We know that a customized curriculum can provide immense value to schools because school leaders like my principal, Matthew Ebert, have seen it work. We also know that yoga and mindfulness work for our students. I recently conducted a survey of my 7th graders to better understand how yoga helps them cope. And out of the 7th graders who completed the survey, 85% indicated that they were more able to regulate their emotions during the semesters when they were taking yoga than in the semesters when they weren't taking yoga. Similarly, a student had this to say about the impact that yoga has had on their life. Before I had yoga, I didn't know how to calm down or anything, but after I had yoga and learned some things, I realized it is easier to calm down or fall asleep or to get energy. The U.S. K-12 education system spends between $21 and $47 billion each year on social emotional learning programming. Over the next 5 years, as a full-fledged team, we believe we can capture over $1 million of that market, supporting schools across the country. Thus far, we have developed our curriculum, been accepted into the Social Innovation Lab, and incorporated as an LLC. We are currently enrolling schools with the goal of having 5 schools enrolled over the next two years, and with the intention of launching a digital platform to better help us get more traction. My name is Emily. I am the founder, and I'm a certified educator and yoga teacher for both kids and adults. I've taught in schools in both Chicago and Baltimore, and I've supported kids yoga teachers who are bringing yoga to schools across the country. Our ask today is to connect us with any school or district leaders you know by sending them to our website to book a free 20-minute introductory call. Thank you.
Please welcome our next team, Equity.